Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're doing a little bit something different compared to usual. Obviously normally I'm on F1 2020, but this is on WheelRim and this is the DTM Esports final, and I'm basically driving against the best sim racers in the world. As you can see straight away, I'm behind Mitchell de Jong, who is one of the best in iRacing, has won a few world championships on there. So yeah, just all kind of different esports drivers across different platforms going into one platform, which is WheelRim with the DTM cars. They're all the same fast as from what I understood, and I'm heading out for my outlap in qualifying. As you can see, there was someone over in the outlap already. For my first run, there's only 8 minutes, and around such a long track, basically Suzuka is quite a long track. I think we are around 2 minutes per lap, so around half a minute slower than the F1 lap times. And you can see quite pushing already on the outlap, as you need to get the tire temperature in. It's quite hard to get the tire temperature up, so that's why you have to push a little bit. But heading towards the end of my outlap, it's gonna be very busy, as I think there are around 30 to 35 cars out on track. So I don't think I had a track map available or something like that. You can see there's a very small one in the bottom left, but still it's so small I couldn't really see it. But in the last sector, as you can see, I'm already backing off to keep the tire temperature, but you can see it's traffic time in here. I don't really know what to do at this point, if I should wait or if I should pass people, and you can see people trying to pass, but it's only making it worse. But yeah, now the issue we're facing is that I'm gonna have no tire temperature starting the lap. So yeah, it makes it a bit complicated. You see Joshua Rogers and Van der Linde passing us, but yeah, no tire temperature starting this lap at least. And also quite close to Van der Linde starting my lap. So this is, I think, already a little bit of a thrown away lap heading into quali. So yeah, not ideal, but still gonna try and do it. As we only have 8 minutes, it's only like 3 flying laps more or less. As basically when the clock hits 0, everyone gets taken from the track. It's not like you can still finish your lap, which I didn't know at the time. So you will see later what happens in qualifying. But yeah, I'm getting quite close to Van der Linde now already on my lap. Who maybe has no tire temperature and struggling with that in sector 1. But this is not ideal, of course, because now I'm gonna have dirty air for the rest of the lap. And as you can see, I backed out of it, which was quite stupid to do, simply because when the clock hits 0, everyone is done, like I cannot finish my lap. And I didn't know that at the time, but at least I have a clean track available to myself now. So I'm gonna try it all over again, have a proper warm-up and have clean air, basically. So coming to the end of my warm-up lap, as you can see, just trying to get the last bit of temperature in. It's only gonna be 1 push lap, because as you can see, I didn't know it at the time. So I thought I timed it perfectly and I was gonna have 2 push laps. But as you can see, it's only gonna be 1, because it's almost a 2-minute lap, and I'm basically only gonna be able to finish this one, which I didn't know. So I straight away want to push, but I go off track straight away, and that made my lap time invalid. So at the time I was like, okay, I still have 1 attempt, but apparently I didn't, because once the clock was gonna hit 0, I was gonna get taken off track. So that means we're gonna start that last this race, which is not ideal. Obviously I didn't really had the things to test these things, I mean, because this was 1 day after F1 Esports event 2, which is my main priority. So I only got to test this car and platform basically for half a day, for a few hours. And to drive against the best sim racers in the world, that's just not enough. Like you need at least a week of practice, if not more. I mean, you need to practice more than that, but I think most of these guys had quite some practice before this, so yeah, going into this I already knew I was not going to win, simply because with half a day of practice against these guys, that's just simply not possible. So that's a shame. So we're going to start last. Going to head into the race now, starting last, so not ideal, but let's head into it. So heading into the race, as you can see, I've got Ryan left for me, Van der Linde ahead of me, who I think is a real life driver. There are two Van der Linde, so it's a bit confusing. But yeah, still, it's gonna be a tough one. I don't even know how to properly start in this series, but as you can see, I get a really good start, which was quite surprising, considering this was my first start ever in the game, as far as I can remember. I did a DTM Esports exhibition race, but that was like almost, I think, 8 or 9 months ago, so I really had no idea how to start. But you can see I've already passed 4 people, so great start, as you can see. But now in the S's it's going to be obviously a bit more tricky to overtake, as you basically just have to follow other people around. And I got Tommy Ostgaard in front of me with POP, who is a really good R-Factor sim racer. You can see 2 people collide in there. Mitchell de Jong, who also didn't have a great qualifying session, getting tangled up in an incident. I'm quite sure he's going to be faster than me, at least, considering I think he had more practice than me. There's one other F1 Esports driver in there, which is Michael Romanidis. So he also probably didn't have a lot of time to practice. But I think he qualified through the actual qualifiers, not like me. I got invited for this just to participate. So Michael had the time to practice a bit through the qualifiers and qualify actually properly. But yeah, as you can see, Mitchell really fast in there. Yeah, I think throughout the race he's just going to pull away from me, and that's why I didn't want to battle him straight away or send it on him, as I just want to take it a bit cautiously to him, because I knew he was going to be faster, so it was a bit of a pointless battle if I was going to attack that. But yeah, heading into the end of the first lap now. Some battles going on, as you can see Tommy Osgaard looking down the inside of POP. At the time I didn't really understand how the DRS system worked. I remember towards the end of the second race I understood it, but well, that was obviously way too late. As apparently you can see in the bottom right that you have 16 DRS attempts, but apparently it was something like if you activate it once in a lap, it basically you could use it 3 times. But when you did use it once, then it would take 3 attempts away. So I was a bit confused by that, so in some laps I only used it once, when I actually could have used it 3 times, and it just took all my attempts away. Super fast, without basically really using any DRS. So yeah, another mistake by me, basically caused by the lack of practice. But that was to be expected. So basically my DRS usage is going to be completely shit throughout the next 2 races, as after this we will have another race on Daytona, and I hope to gain some experience in this race and then maybe snatch the top 10 away in Daytona. But as I said before, I didn't know that how the DRS basically worked until the end of the Daytona race, so that was a shame. But anyway, I just gotta try my best and push as hard as possible. You can see Mitchell de Jong still ahead of me. I think there are 3-4 cars ahead of me, and then there's a little bit of a gap in between them. And I think the one holding up this train a little bit is POP, if I say his name right. Actually, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, it's not going very well at the moment. We don't really have the pace to really overtake anyone in front at the moment. But I think at the time I was like trying to save tires a bit, especially the left front, which is really hard on tires. You can see Maurice Lorner setting the fastest lap of the race, going around 2 seconds faster than me, I think so. Obviously I'm stuck in dirty air and traffic, and it also depends on DRS usage. In practice I was basically around half a second off to the top guys, which is alright considering the lack of practice I had. But yeah, a bit of a bad excuse of course, but yeah, I simply couldn't practice due to F1 Esports, as I said before. So yeah, it's a shame. I hope next time it will be out of the F1 Esports season. It will be much better for me as I could properly practice and have a go at the top guys. Obviously there are a lot of race room OGs on here as well, so challenging for the win will be really hard, but at least it will be more of a challenge from my side to them. And as you can see, Mitchell de Jong got past Tommy Ostgaard, and now we're gonna try and do the same, but with a little bit less space. So let's see if we can do it. So as we now head 4 minutes further into the race, as you can see, Mitchell de Jong up to P18. As I said before, he had much better pace than basically where he was driving. But we still haven't managed to pass Tommy Ostgaard, who is attacking POP for the moment. But as you can see, going through here, he clips the curb and he loses the back end. We just managed to avoid him. He did manage to save the car somehow. But it's a free position for us, so we take it. 11 minutes to go into the race, which should be around 6 laps, if I'm right. I'm not sure if there will be any additional laps. But now I'm gonna try and hunt down POP. As you can see, I activated my DRS. 130R is so tricky with DRS. Hope you can see I managed to keep it flat through there, but it's so hard, both in qualifying and in race, to do it flat. I think the dirty air helped me a bit to keep the understeer and keep the car a bit more balanced, but still had a big snap of oversteer. So use my push to pass straight away. As you can see, front tires are taking quite a beating in all this dirty air, of course. And you can see I got close heading into turn 1, but not close enough, unfortunately. And we're just gonna keep pressurizing POP until the end of the race, and see if we can force him in a mistake, hopefully, and make the pass a bit easier. But as you can see, I think P19 at this point is the maximum I can get, with Mitchell de Jong being faster and further ahead, and some, I think, race room drivers like Betka, if I say his name right, and Muller ahead. So yeah, it won't be easy to gain any more positions after P ahead of us, but yeah, just need to hope for some incidents and see if you can grab some points from there, as I think the top 15 gets points, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see if we can do it. And now we move 6 minutes further into the race, 4 minutes to go basically. Still behind POP, as you can see, but yeah, I've been trying to keep my front tires cool all race long, but now with only 4 minutes to go, I'm just gonna push it to the maximum. As you can see, 100 degrees is where they tend to overheat. And now I'm gonna have a go at POP in the slipstream around the outside of 130R. I can't wait to it. This is a bit too much. As you can see, I go off track. My first invalidation, I don't think you really get penalized for it. But yeah, I think we touched slightly there. But nothing too major. I think I got a bit of under pressure from Tommy Ostgaard as well. And now again, we're gonna have the slipstream going into turn 1. But I think POP has more push to pass left than me, or DRS. I'm not exactly sure. As you can see, Tommy Ostgaard getting very close as well. But POP goes wide, and we go down the inside of turn 2. We push him wide a bit, and that basically gives us P19 with Niels Naujoks in P18 ahead. Tommy Ostgaard also managed to get ahead and is up to P20 now. And now we finally get rid of this horrendous understeer from all the dirty air we had been driving in, and push properly a little bit. As you can see, the front tires are down to 36%, 35%. I can't really see it from here, but I can confirm there were some people at the end of the race with 0% front tires left, which meant they just had no grip at all. It's not like they got a puncture or anything, it's just that they absolutely had no grip left. And I think it happened to Michael Romanidis, if I remember correctly. I can't remember everything exactly correct anymore, as this race was, I think, a month ago. As I said, it was one day after the F1 Esports event too. So yeah, I think P19 is the place we're gonna finish unless an incident happens, or unless Tommy Ostgaard can have a run at us heading into this last lap. I think it will be only 1 lap remaining after this. So once we finish this lap, it will be the last lap. As you can see, Tommy Ostgaard in the slipstream, gaining so much heading into 130R. Let's see if he can do anything. I think 130R is quite annoying, being so close to the back of someone. Heading into the chicane we go a bit deep, so he's gonna have a run at us into the last lap, basically. Now we're not really gaining any time to Niels Nuyok's ahead, as we also have no DRS remaining, of course. We're safe going into turn 1, but will we be safe going into the last chicane on the long back straight? Well, we are about to find out the answer. As you can see, my front right is dying as well. It's overheating and there's almost no rubber left on it. You can see Tommy Osgaard is going to have a final go at us heading into the last chicane. As you can see, I'm going to take a middle line so he can't send it really. And we are going to be safe from him going towards the finish. You can see he was very close there. Now it's basically going to be a sprint to the finish, but he won't be able to get us anymore. Lucas Muller ahead of us in P18 as the AI cars make an absolute pileup. But yeah, let's hit into Daytona qualifying. So yeah, heading into Daytona qualifying now. As expected, we're obviously doing the normal road course, the actual racetrack instead of the oval. Heading into my final qualifying lap now. We are P17 and I'm about to improve my lap by around half a tenth, which is enough for P17 now, but obviously I want to be further up the grid. Heading into turn 1, which is very tricky braking zone always. It's easy to either lose the rear or lock the left front. Then heading into turn 3, again super important and super long corner as well. Exit is really hard, tricky. It's quite long as well. And then heading into this easy flat left-hander, someone has spun right there. Yeah, down to second gear. Again, a really long corner. Not a super important exit as Wisniewski goes off into the grass. And then this one is so important as the exit is absolutely massive. Really easy to again lose the rears. It's such a long exit, such a long corner basically. So yeah, 1.5 tons up, which is good. I think the midfield is quite close together from me to the top 10, so we can make some good progress here. Quite long straight, as I said before, braking around the number 1 board, as you saw in the top right, in this super fast chicane. Easy to get an invalidation or a track limit warning and get your lap taken away, but we got a good exit off there, and now it's basically just taking a short line to the finish line to get a good lap time. As you can see, we are 6 tenths up, 6.5 tenths is what we're gonna finish with, which is a very solid improvement, which puts us P13 for now. And then heading into this lap, you can see, as I said last lap, I go in too fast, had to trail brake too much, which pitched the car too much, and then I lost the rear. But as you can see, Kevin Siggy P1, Yerjovski P2, Wisniewski P3. We're basically 1.2 seconds off. I think the fastest lap times are probably with slipstream. So that's what makes the gap so big. I didn't manage to get a slipstream in my qualifying, but as you can see, it's P16 for now. I think that's where we're gonna start. Probably Tommy Osgaard just jumped us, and let's hit into the race. So as I just said, we're starting P16, which is quite a lot better than in Suzuka, where we were, I think, P30, something around that line. So yeah, let's head into it. 5 red lights and away we go. It's a much better start than we had in Suzuka, where we already had a good start, but obviously these guys in front know how to start a little bit better, and it's straight away up to P13. Absolute mega start from us, straight away 3 places gain, and now we're behind Michael Romanidis, our fellow F1 Esports driver. And we're going to go down the inside. I locked the right front as brakes and tires are cold. The same did someone behind me who locked up really heavily and just hit my rear a little bit, which compromised me a bit, but nothing major as he spun out and I didn't. As you can see, Jack Cadley going very wide. Jack Cadley also really good driver on the race room. I think has done multiple championships on here. And probably a lot faster than us at the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and follow these guys for as long as possible and try to take my advantages from incidents. And for now, I'm not gonna try and battle too hard, as we already had a really good start, and I wanna take advantage from that and not throw it away by doing any stupid moves, as basically it's now Tim Yarshall, I think it's his name, not sure, is basically the lead of this small group, because there's quite a bit of a gap to Brzezinski in P9, as you can see in the top left. Again, a 20-minute race, just like Suzuka last time, and we're really close to Michael Romanidis, but he's obviously having slipstream as well, so there's no point to try and pass him, as I bump draft him a little bit, as you can see. So yeah, I'm not going to try anything crazy, as he braked quite early for my feeling, so decided to have a small go, but obviously I ran outside, I was not going to have a big chance, and I didn't want to take any major risk as well. As we now move 4 minutes further into the race, felt like I didn't really have the pace to keep up with these guys, but the only reason I wasn't able to keep up is because basically they were battling all the time, and I didn't even want to lose any extra ground to the guys behind and lose more positions, so I decided to just stay behind and try and take advantage from their pace and just slipstream behind them. So that's basically what's been going on the past few laps. As you can see, Mike Romanidis managed to get past Jack Catley, who made a small mistake and lost I think 1 or 2 positions. But yeah, he's obviously much faster than me, as this is his main platform he's racing on. So you can see we got a good run off there, but then the issue is that I won't be able to get past anyway, as I would have to go high in the banking, and then I would lose slipstream and I would have to run more meters. So we need absolute insane momentum to get past someone there. So basically your best chances are either turn 1 or turn 3, I would say, the right hand hairpin. As you can see, Jack Catley having a go at Mike Romanidis around the outside, and as you can see, he has a go at Tim Yarshall as well. He didn't manage to pull it off that time, as we got a big snap of oversteer. These cars are not really easy to drive, I would say, but again, as you can see, all this battling just keeps me in touch with them, and they're just pulling me along, which is a good advantage for me. There haven't been any incidents in front of me, which is a shame, because otherwise I would just gain 3 positions, of course. But yeah, I'm not going to try and fight it at the moment, as I simply don't have the pace. You can see I'm squirming around there on the exit. But yeah, these guys are battling all the time. You can see Jack Catley goes wide once again, which gives Michael Romanidis a chance to have a go at him. But then same story as I said before, if you try and go around the outside here, which is what Michael Romanidis is trying now, you're gonna lose slipstream, although he gets a little bit of a slipstream now instead from Tim Yarshall, who somehow managed to pull away a lot in the past few corners. You can see they go side by side through the chicane, and once again we get a really good exit from there. But you can see I haven't even been fighting, and I've lost 1.5 seconds to my personal best lap. So that's how much you lose time when battling in these cars. You can see Tim Yarshall absolutely pulled off into the distance as I bump draft Jack Catley, as I don't want to battle into turn 1 and lose time. I just want to go forward and not lose any time. As you can see, I hit Jack Catley, and somehow it didn't do a lot of damage, or in terms of spinning Jack Catley around. So that was good, but I didn't meant to do that. I just felt like I braked a little bit too early, and he braked a little bit early. If I said that right? Did I say that right? It doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, 11 minutes to go, and it's not looking very good for us, as every time we get into a technical section they just tend to pull away, as you can see right there. And as I said in the Suzuka race as well, I had no idea how to use a DRS, because I absolutely wasted so much time but just activating it once in a lap, and it basically took 3 attempts away. So I basically used like 1/3 of the DRS that I actually could have used. So yeah, that was a shame. That probably costed me a potential P12, P11 or P10 finish. As you can see, they're using DRS now, and I wasn't, even though I probably activated it. So yeah, that was not ideal, but I only figured it out in the last 2 minutes of the race basically. So nothing I could do anymore by then. But anyway, let's hit into the final few laps of the race. So now heading into the final 1.5 minutes of the race. Jack Gately and Michael Romanidis absolutely pulled off into the distance, as they had many more DRS attempts than me, of course, because I used them very poorly. And now we've come under pressure from Ben Sbanky. I was a bit compromised heading into the chicane, but obviously I was in clean air, so that gave me a little bit of an advantage. But I would guess he has a lot more DRS attempts than me, considering I have none left. I still have to push the pass, which you basically can use once every lap. But yeah, now he is having a DRS, of course, and I don't, and he's just cruising past me on the straight. So yeah, not ideal that I didn't have any DRS left, but I'm still gonna fight as hard as possible as I get a big snap of oversteer. I wasn't fully control of the car with the lack of practice, of course. And now we're looking towards the back of Ben Sbanky's car, and you can see I got quite a good corner there, and he went a bit wide, so we still are going side by side heading into this next left-hander, as he had a shorter line, so he gained a bit of time there and a bit of ground as I get a big snap of oversteer. And this basically meant the end for me, as now I'm too far back to have some proper slipstream on these long back straights. So that was a shame, as that basically costed me P13. But yeah, I'm using my push to pass now to try and get back into the slipstream, but it's not looking very good for us when we're 6/10 back. So yeah, let's see if we can do anything on the last back straight after the chicane. Maybe he makes a mistake, but I doubt it, as he's quite okay with how far he's ahead. And also, as I said before, the outer line is not really great to get past someone. So yeah, I still have the slipstream, as you can see. I was hoping I was eventually just gonna nip him on the line, but as you can see, it's not gonna be enough, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a shame, but we're gonna finish 1.3 tenths behind him, and that's P14. We're still, I think I finished like P16 in the championship, so that's quite good, I would say. And yeah, it was definitely a fun event. As you can see, the AI absolutely causing carnage again. But yeah, it's a shame he didn't get to do more practice. But still, it's I would say not a terrible result considering the lack of practice. So I had around 3-4 hours of practice for this. Yeah, Kevin Siggy won the race. I think Moritz Lohner won the final in points, if I remember correctly. And then Kevin Siggy came P2. So yeah, I hope next time we can fight for the win a bit more. Joshua Rogers P2, Jajowski P3, Mitchell de Jong P4. And as you can see there, P14 is us. Definitely an improvement, of course, from the Suzuka race, because we had a better qualifying. But yeah, let's hope I can do better next DTM Esports final, if there's gonna be a next one. So yeah, that will be good if I can practice a bit more and then battle for some wins. I hope so. But anyway, this is gonna be the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more F1 2020 or sim racing content in general. And see you guys next time.